Hi everyone. Today we will be discussing the parables of the weather signs, also known as the parable of the warning signs. And so our text comes from Luke chapter 12, verse 54 to 59, where Jesus warns about the sign of the times. And he said to the multitude, "When you see a cloud rising in the west, you say at once, 'A shower is coming,' and so it happens. And when you see the south wind blowing, you say, 'There will be scorching heat,' and it happens. You hypocrites, you know how to interpret the the appearance of earth and sky, but why do you not know how to interpret the present time?" So this particular passage often is used to explain or help us to look at the signs of our times in terms of prophecy, the end of days, Jesus coming back, and just like he said, you want to look at the signs of the times for when the Lord is coming. That's really important in our day and time with everything that's happening. But in today's lesson, we're going to take this passage and look at how we can look at signs of danger in our own lives. So today I'm in Orlando, Florida, and right as I'm leaving for work, I looked out and I saw it was cloudy, but it wasn't raining yet. And so by the time I was ready to rain, before I knew it, it was just a downpour. It was just showering, and it was totally unexpected because it always happens that every time it rains, I leave my umbrella in the car. And so was caught in rain. I should have expected it. This is Florida after all, and it rains whenever, you know. So my question to you is, have you ever been caught in an unexpected rain shower? So I'm going to talk about or tell you a story about two guys who goes out on the sea. And the day starts off really nice and calm, and it's a beautiful day, and they go out sailing. So their names were Jim and John, and they were out in the sea on their own boat sailing, and they were having a really great time. And so John says to Jim, "Hey, let's just stay out here all day. It's really, really a lot of fun." So Jim looked around, and even though the sky was clear and the sea was calm where they were at, over a little bit farther away by the horizon, he could see a few little clouds coming. So he says to John, "Let's see what the wind brings, or what the wind might mean before we make a decision like that. Let's hug the shore a little bit better." What that means is that let's stay close to the shore just in case we need to escape quickly. But John, because he loved being out on the sea so much, he says to Jim, "Don't be a chicken. It's fine. Even if those clouds mean a storm, we've got plenty of time." But Jim, he says, "I don't know. Storms come up awfully fast in the summer." John, because he still really likes being out there on the water, says, "If a storm comes, we'll just hurry back to the shore. Come on, let's go farther out." And so John goes farther out, while Jim, because he's not being sure, he's kind of hugging the shore just a little bit. Suddenly, the clouds on the horizon came over so fast that within 15 minutes the sky became black. Jim heard a roll of thunder. Boom. "Hey, John, did you hear that?" Jim shouted to his friend. "Come back to shore." John said, "They'll pass to the south of us. I really want to stay out here. Come on, don't be a baby." John sure is calling Jim a lot of names here today. Chicken, baby. Have you ever been called any of these types of names? Were people trying to make you do something that you knew was dangerous and you really didn't want to do it? Were you seeing the signs of trouble that others weren't seeing? In this story, let's see who the real baby is. So, Jim moored the boat and he felt relieved. What that means is that because he was near the shore, he got to the shore and was able to get his boat onto the shore and obviously get off the boat. So their day went from this to this. The wind was really strong now. And so Jim called out to his friend, "John, John, come back." And John yelled back, "I'm trying," sounding really scared. "The wind is blowing too hard. I'll never make it." Jim ran and got the Coast Guard, and they had to rescue John. When the Coast Guard picked up John, they asked him, "Why had you gone out so far when surely you saw the clouds forming? The wind was picking up, and your friend right here is telling you the right thing to do." All John could do was be humiliated and embarrassed by his action, or rather his lack of action. The point is, John was saved, but the situation could have been worse, where John could have died out at sea, drowned by the storm. He didn't watch the sign of the times, even though the signs were all around him. So sometimes when it comes to the weather, the signs around about us can't be easy to tell what's going to happen sometimes. But when it comes to getting ourselves into trouble, the signs may not be completely clear to us. There are 4 signs of danger, or situations that can get us into danger. And we're going to discuss that a little bit further. The first one would be if anyone has ever dared you. Has anyone ever said, "I dare you to do something"? All right? Sometimes it may be a dare of something you know you shouldn't do or don't want to do. But if someone were to put you on the spot and say, "I dare you," would you willingly take that dare, or would you say, "Nah, I'll pass"? That's one sign. Another sign would be if you were taunted, just like Jim was in our story. John kept on taunting him. "Hey, you're a chicken, you're a baby." You know, has anyone ever taunted you to the point that you felt like you had no escape other because they're making fun of you? And in order to not make them laugh at you, you felt pressured to do something you didn't want to do. That's the second type of sign. Another type of sign is if you're out with your friends, and you know, since the majority of my audience are kids, but also adults if you're out there as well. If you have friends that you know and you associate with, and are like, "Hey, let's go down to such and such place." You know, for kids it may be you know, a certain place or somewhere your mom or your dad doesn't want you to go, and that you know you're not supposed to go, but you have friends whose parents may knowingly or unknowingly know where they're going, but because your family or your authority figures are saying doesn't want you to go, and you know it's something that may be dangerous, you may have friends who may bring you to the place of danger. All right. For adults, you know, whether if you have a drinking problem, it could be some person who wants to buy some beer or some liquor, and he's going to the liquor store and he makes you come along with him. Well, that's temptation right there. Or wherever place that may be a temptation to you. The point is, places of danger would be to another friend's house, where you don't know the adults. There's many situations that can happen at someone else's place, especially if you don't know that person, or your parents don't know that person, or maybe they do know that person and they have that danger. You're just brought into a dangerous situation because you have friends who brought you into that dangerous place. The fourth sign of danger would be for you to be brought to dangerous kids, or so in terms of, you may have good friends and they may decide to go to a party, but at that party are some wild, outrageous kids out there that's doing drugs and having all kinds of wild behavior that is dangerous. For example, they may be doing stuff wild, like climbing up the roofs and jumping off the roofs, or climbing up a tall tree, or looking over a cliff. All those are really dangerous. Yes, there's that thrill. That you may, drag racing. A lot of kids, teenagers do that as well. For adults, it could still be drag racing as well. Could be getting online and going to certain sites that you're not supposed to. Go into a friend's house that does outrageous things, and it gets into outrageous or wild behaviors and activities. Whatever it is, you're placed in a certain situation because someone is either pressuring you, someone is either daring you, and or you're brought into the dangerous place by someone else, or brought to dangerous people. And so you really have to be careful and know how to distinguish, how to know how to get out of those situations. So the point is, when it comes to danger, be alert, be aware of what's going on around you. Sometimes it may be easy, but sometimes when you feel that quickening in your spirit, it says, this doesn't feel right. I shouldn't do this. Don't feel like you have to be pressured by your friends or by someone that you may know or don't know into thinking that you should do this. You know what? If they want to act stupid, if they want to act crazy, let them. That's on them. You can try and tell them not to do the crazy things, but for you, be strong enough to say that you have a choice and that you should not be compelled by someone else to do something that you know that you shouldn't do. And so say no. Say no, thank you. I like the life. I like to live, and so you want to be crazy and do that, that's on you. All right. For example, you want to join a gang, that's on you, because the chances of you surviving it's probably at 2%, because you may not survive the following week, depending on how gang life is. If you know someone is going to be crazy and mess with traffic, or go online and go in a chat room and meet some guy you think your age is interested in you, that's still crazy, because the chances of you actually chat online with someone your age. Now think about this, you guys. How many kids your age would actually go online to meet someone your age? Majority of you in your age group, you meet each other at parties, you meet each other at school, you meet each other at the neighborhoods. Chat line, think about it, okay? Just think about it. Be safe. Know your environment. Know the signs of the times. And according to scripture, we know signs of weather. Know your present time. Know what's going on. Besides current events, know, and because our main story, our lesson today is knowing how to know your present time and how to be aware of dangerous situations. Just be alert and know your surroundings. Know if someone is following you. Don't just think or pretend, oh, this person's just going to pass around me. No, someone is following you. You take extra precautions to not have that person snatch you. Walk with a group of people. Cross the street. Go to somewhere where there's a lot more people, where it's a little bit more public. just do certain things to keep it safe. And that's the whole point. Be aware of your surroundings. We're going to end with worksheets. For those of you who are watching this video, my lesson is taken from a website called www.teachsundayschool.com, and this lesson plan is from the Parables of Jesus. This is a particular lesson plan. For my students, you have 2 worksheets that you should be given, and one is to puzzle to unscramble 2 words, certain words, and then you have a crossword puzzles on dangerous kids and dangerous places, and just examples of things you should be aware of. So the point is, you guys, be safe out there and be alert, use extra precaution, and trust in Jesus to keep you safe and protect you. So that extra protection, be alert, and also pray and ask for added protection around about you, that you will know when to get out of danger and know how to be safe. So be safe.